everybody. We're about 2 weeks away from strawberry harvest, and I just can't wait till those juicy berries are ready. But there's something I have to be a little bit concerned about, and it's called the spotted winged Drosophila. This is a fruit fly, and it's different from the regular, what we call vinegar flies or pumice flies. Those flies are attracted to decomposing and fermenting materials, whereas this particular pest attacks developing and ripening fruits. So as my strawberries are just about ready, they will start inserting eggs into them, and then if I don't do anything about it before then, I'm going to have maggots in my strawberries. Now, fruit fly numbers are fairly low in Michigan early in the season, but by the end of the season they'll get quite high. And last year I grew some strawberries on my deck just as an experiment, and they were everbearer, so I was getting strawberries in August and September. And I checked them for the fruit fly larvae, and just about every strawberry had at least 3 larvae in them, which made those strawberries unusable. The interesting thing is, if I was taking those to a grocery store, they would reject them. But many times farmers will take them to be used in juice, which isn't all that exciting to me. But anyway, in order to avoid having this problem, we need to put on what we call preventative insecticide sprays. And insecticides work in a couple of different ways, but the way that the one that we want to apply is going to work on this particular pest is it's a stomach poison, so they have to ingest it in order for it to kill them. So we have to have this in place when the females are ready to start laying their eggs so that we can kill them before they destroy our fruit. Now, one of the ways we can do that is we need to monitor for the insects in order to know when they're out there and getting ready to do damage. So I'm going to show you now how to make a trap to monitor for this particular pest. Okay, the first thing you're going to need is a plastic container. And this plastic container I saved from when I bought some soup at a local Chinese restaurant. You can also go to Gordon's Food Service and buy these in bulk, although I like to save them. They last for a long time. Another thing you need is a piece of metal that you're going to use to put the holes in, and we put holes in at about 2-inch intervals all the way around the edge of this container, and that's going to allow the fruit flies entrance into this trap. Now what I like to do is I happen to have found this piece of metal in the garage, and what I do is I heat up the tip on my stove, and then I just burn it in, and I can go all the way around after just heating this for about 30 seconds on the stove, and it's the fastest and easiest way for me to be able to put the holes in. Then after the holes are in, I take a piece of metal that I bent, and this piece of metal here is shaped like a little hook, and I push it into the top of the trap. Then I take the top off, and I take my pliers, some needle nose pliers here, and I will bend it at about a 90-degree angle here, like that. And what I'm going to do when I do that, I take a piece of this sticky aphid whitefly trap board. It's really sticky on the sides here, and I've already put a hole here, and I simply put that on the hook like that. Then I put the top on like this, and when I hang this, oops, fell off. Maybe what I should do is bend this up just a little bit more so that it doesn't come off. You want to go greater than perpendicular, so put it on like that. And of course you want to be sure that you do this when you have put it through the plastic top, otherwise you'll have difficulty getting it back through the plastic top. So anyway, it looks sort of like this, and then I put it in the trap, and when I hang the trap like this, the plastic or the little piece here should be hanging down and not down all to the bottom. Of course it flipped off again. Just love it when this happens. I'll try it a third time. This time I'm going to pinch it. So that it doesn't come off as easily. Of course, if you don't make the hole very large, then it won't come off as easily either. So now this is what the trap will look like, and now all I have to do is put the bait in. And if the yellow portion in this trap is a little long, trim it a little bit with some scissors, and you'll have to clean the scissors because that sticky stuff will get all over it. Now the next thing I have to do is put in the bait. And what we normally use is apple cider vinegar. Now this is distilled white vinegar, but the preferred vinegar is apple cider vinegar, and put in about 1 to 2 inches. Another way that you can attract them, and this is better for early in the season, is a mixture of sugar, yeast, and whole wheat flour, and water. So I have the water here. You use about 2 ounces of water, put it in your trap. And we're going to use a half a teaspoon of dried yeast. Okay, we need a teaspoon of whole wheat flour and 2 teaspoons of sugar. And just mix this all up, and our trap is ready to go. And then what we will do is we will hang this outside about the height of the canopy, and preferably in a shady place. And then we will check this trap once a week, and we will also replace the bait once a week. And let's go outside and put it in the strawberries. 2 of the most effective insecticides for use on the fruit fly are Spinosad, which is an organic product, and also malathion, which is a more conventional insecticide. If you'd like some good information as to what products work well and which ones don't, I'll put a website up to a document that was listed at Cornell University that can help you in making the proper choice. Now remember, these insecticides are the type of products that kill on contact, but also they can kill the insect as they feed on the plant. And one of the things that is recommended by Cornell University is to put a feeding stimulant in with your mix. And that's ordinary sugar at about 0.3 ounces per gallon of water, which comes out to about a tablespoon per gallon of water. And what this does is when the fruit fly comes in and lands on the leaf, it causes a feeding response, and as a result, they'll more effectively consume the pesticide and thus die before they have a chance to lay their eggs. Also, both Spinosad and malathion work better when the pH is around 6. That's the acidity or the alkalinity of your water that you're using. And you should have a water test to find out what your pH is. And then you can use a material which is the same stuff that's in Coca-Cola, phosphoric acid, to lower the pH. And it takes about 1 teaspoon per gallon to lower the pH 1 unit. So if you, and that's per gallon. So if you had a gallon of water that was a pH of 7 and you wanted to lower it to 6, you only need 1 teaspoon in order to do that. Now there are some negatives to the feeding stimulant. According to the information that I was reading, the sugar may cause spores to germinate faster and be able to help the fungus to enter the leaf more effectively, which means that diseases can get started more easily when you use sugar in your spray mix. One of the things you might want to consider doing is putting a fungicide in there, which you need to do anyway to control certain leaf and fruit diseases to help alleviate that problem. But also try to apply your material when it's likely to dry quickly on the plant, which would mean sunny days and low humidity. Guess what's responsible for that? Robins. And I need to put some covers over these strawberries pronto, otherwise I'm just going to be feeding the neighborhood birds.